It's the Manchester Derby day, guys, and everyone is talking about it. But obviously, yesterday we got some good news that Weghorst deal was done and dusted, and United, towards midnight, went ahead to really announce the story or the transfer of Weghorst as a done and dusted. But remember, a day before, we had already told you that Fabrizio Romano had already confirmed to us that it's a here we go, and we are just waiting for the official statement coming from the club, and it came out yesterday night. Now, after that deal got done, Ten Hag has shocked all of us. He's calling for more signings. Can you imagine? He's calling for more signings, and he has really spoken these words from his own mouth. It's not like he has been quoted, but these were the words he said after the press conference when he was conducting an interview or an interview towards the derby at Old Trafford on the Manchester United TV. That is it. So that is one of the stories we're going to talk about, and maybe some of the transfers that he's really eyeing at, because he's coming out and really saying that confirms the very many words that James Daka, correspondent of United for the Telegraph, and obviously Mark Odegan, that is a senior correspondent for ESPN, that he's looking in for another centre forward and other players like midfielders. Then we're going to talk about Casemiro coming out and really explain to us his role and how far he's ready for Manchester City today. And last, we're going to talk about Erik ten Hag going ahead to really take the fire back to a player, to the manager of Man City, that is Pep Guardiola, as far as the game of United is concerned, and the ridiculous formula, old method he's really thinking of to come in and really beat Manchester United that he hinted of when he was preparing for the game of Southampton. So smash the like button, comment and share, guys. We hit 10,000 subscribers, and continue subscribing because I see numbers hiking up day in, day out, and that is what we would always want here onto this channel. Now, Erik ten Hag has gone ahead and really issued a statement after the signing of Weghorst, because when the club announced that the deal of Weghorst done and dusted, it's only Weghorst that really spoke to the media of United TV and the sporting director of United, that is John Mata. But right now, Erik ten Hag has the following to say about the guy. Weghorst, I'm very happy. It's not a profile we had. He can score goals from anywhere. I'm waiting for a team player, someone who can make the connection, a player who will do his defensive job. We are really happy to have signed him. So he's talking about Weghorst as a different kind of striker. Obviously, he's a towering lad. He's a beast. He's a giant. That's why very many people refer to him as the pressing monster who really leads the press at the forefoot. That is it. So United really needs him, and he is here, and the manager has talked about how he has been needing a person who's going to go on and really score goals from anywhere. And when you look at his statistics, he can score goals from anywhere. He's good in the air, he's good with his foot, he can shoot from outside the tennis box area, and obviously can improvise sometimes if at all it needs to really go on, really take off people to see to it that he really creates space for himself to shoot at goal. That is Weghorst for you. And he has talked about doing his defensive job. You see, in the Ten Hag system, no player rests. When they're attacking us, we defend as a team, and when we are attacking, we attack as a team. In the offensive and defensive area, we are always a team. A team unit is needed. So that's what Ten Hag is going ahead to really talk about Weghorst and why he signed him. And today he has really told us why he signed Weghorst, and these are the reasons why Ten Hag really brought in this player. And I think you now know why the manager really brought him in at Old Trafford. Congratulations to Erik ten Hag for getting in Weghorst, and let's pray to it that he really hits the ground running in the game of Crystal Palace, because I believe that's going to be his debut for Manchester United, because he was not registered in time, meaning that he's out of the derby that we're going to play against City today. Now, after that, Ten Hag surprised many as far as the January transfer window is concerned. He said, if there are more opportunities, we'll be ready for that and looking for that, but it has to be once again the right player. So, talking of the January transfer window and the right players, Ten Hag is looking at a player who is going to fit into the financial situations of Manchester United, because the board has told him how bad they are doing financially. That's why they've gone in for a player of 3 million euros to bring him at the club. And Ten Hag has that eye of looking at a player who is really looking worn out, but he knows that if at all I go ahead and really purify him, dust him off, he can turn into the player that we want. He did to do Santadik in Ajax. At Southampton, looked like he was not the man that they signed. Then they sold him to Ajax. Then the other man that he did it to was a player called Sebastian Haller. West Ham bought it from the Bundesliga, and when they brought him here in the Premier League, he flopped. Then Ten Hag said, I have 18 million pounds. Can you get me that player? They got him that player at Ajax, and he scored 12 Champions League goals. That was immense for a player that looked like a flop at West Ham. So Ten Hag is good at really getting players back to where they're supposed to be. And it's even at Manchester United. Look at how he has gone ahead to improve eliminating players. David De Gea, turning him into a super goalkeeper. And his ball distribution is really out of this world. Then Diego Dallo is really one of those players that he has gone ahead to improve a lot at Manchester United. Look at Luke Shaw. Look at Marcus Rashford. Scott McTominay and Freddie. For the previous 2 games has been playing for United, he has always come up for the bench and really put up a very big impact. And I see that if the passing range and accuracy of Freddie are really improving every day and night. So I believe that is the lad known as Erik ten Hag, and how far he has gone to go ahead and really change things at a club known as Manchester United. And he's calling in for more signings in the January transfer window. But can we get in others? I believe United can get another deal done and dusted. That's it. Because they are midfielders that Ten Hag is looking at that can come at the club and really do the needful. As we got in Weghorst, we can get in a midfielder because Donny van Beek is out and his season ended. That's it. After that knee injury, he underwent a surgery, even posted that photo yesterday on his social media platforms. And obviously, he told us and confirmed the words of the manager he issued out in the press conference that his season is done. So that means we need another central attacking midfield. I don't know how Ten Hag is going to do it. Either he brings in another midfielder who plays alongside Casemiro, or he brings in a central defensive midfielder. And when you bring in another one who plays against Casemiro, that means you can shift Eriksen sometimes to play as a cam. So I believe that is the plan for the manager of Manchester United, Erik ten Hag. But as far as transfers are concerned, looks like it's not yet done for United, but I believe these signings won't come up in the January transfer window, but they are going to come in the summer. And we are told by Mark Odigan, working for ESPN, that United's real objective in their attempt to end a 6-year search for centre forward is to bridge a gap until the summer, when their priority targets will include Victor Osimhen, Benjamin Sesko, and Harry Kane. That confirms to us that Ten Hag is not looking in for another striker in the January transfer window. He's looking in for midfielders to come in and really do the job all elsewhere. That's it. So, when you look at this story, Victor Osimhen is at Napoli. 100 million will be wanted for him. He cannot come in January, meaning that is a summer deal. Benjamin Sesko, however much they sold him to RB Leipzig, I believe if at all United raise close to 60 million euros, they can get Benjamin Sesko. For Harry Kane, he was valued at 200 million pounds way back in 2021, but right now, I believe with him going to be left with 1 year on his contract after this summer, that means he's going to be cheaper. 50 million pounds, 60 million pounds, he will be available. And if at all they don't sell him, that means in the season of 2024-2025, he'll march out from Spurs as a free agent because he needs to win something. He needs to win something and he really wants to go out. So Ten Hag is looking at those 3 centre forwards, and I believe he will get one to get his job done in the summer because he needs one that is really lethal and clinical. Now, James Daka also in the head let us know that Ten Hag wants to sign a top striker with the likes of Harry Kane, Benjamin Sesko, and Victor Osimhen on the club's ladder, and another leading midfielder such as Frankie de Jong or Jude Bellingham. So when you look at Ten Hag, his plan is really well stipulated out to the board that if you get me Jude Bellingham or Frankie de Jong in that midfield area, all will be okay. And if you get me Harry Kane, Benjamin Sesko, and Victor Osimhen, one of those, it will be okay. But to me, I believe that is not something we should go on and rely on, especially the Harry Kane deal, because Harry Kane is 30, Martial is 27. We need to get in a player like Victor Osimhen. I think is like 22, 23 years of age. Benjamin Sesko is 19. So we need such strikers to come in through and be able to do the job for Manchester, because they are young and they are hungry and they would love to keep their name and build their career at Manchester United. So I believe, to me, I don't agree with the Harry Kane deal. That's it. Though I think the board of United will go for Harry Kane because he's English and they want to sign English players, and they've been chasing for him for a very long time. But the problem has been money has always not been at their disposal, and let's wait and see. Now, let's get into the derby, because it's the derby day and people might say, Rokani, it's the Manchester derby day, but don't talk about the derby. Now, let's get into the derby straight into the derby. Now, we've been told by Marissa Reddy, she works for Sky Sports. She's a senior reporter at Sky Sports. She told us that Ten Hag was catching as he broke down the mistakes in the last derby. The dressing room did not take it personally, nor look for ways to publicly or privately scapegoat others. What I've gotten out of this tweet, and that's why I brought it into this story, is simple. That means Ten Hag went ahead and stipulated very well to the players of United why we lost 6-3 at Etihad. And I think they now know very well what they did that led to their beating or to their annihilation at the Etihad. And Ten Hag has always gone ahead to really be a manager that hits the nail on its top. And they now know the reason as to why everything went like that and why we are beaten thoroughly by Man City. And in the second half, they tried to change. That's why I went ahead and really pulled some 3 back. But obviously, the damage had already been done, and there was no way we would change that damage. Meaning that if at all that game had been 2-0, would have gone ahead to come in through and really win that game of football, because we needed to go on and redo the needful into that game of football. So that's what Marissa Reddy is telling us, that it all ended in the dressing room, and all players took the responsibility. No one use the other as a scapegoat to see to it that he takes the blame or puts the blame on other for the loss at the derby. Now, Ten Hag has gone ahead to really speak the following about the derby, because yesterday in the press conference, there are certain things he said that we brought to you, and you watched that video very well. But these ones, he told them to the Manchester United television. Now, Ten Hag has said it's always great to come to Old Trafford for any game, but for a Manchester derby, it will be a really special moment when I come to Old Trafford. I know the significance of derbies. It's really exciting. When he talks about he knows the significance of derbies, he's a man who knows what derbies are. He was in FC20. FC20 have that derby. They used to play there. He was at Bayern Munich. He knows how Bayern Munich has a very huge rivalry with Borussia Dortmund, biggest derby in Germany. And there's another one with, is it Bayern Leverkusen, because they come from the same city. Then at Ajax, the biggest derby I think was in between them and PSV. That is the biggest game in the history of Ajax football. So he knows the significance of these derbies, and he knows what it means if at all you lose a derby. It is really painful, and in Manchester, you won't sleep. He wants to paint Manchester red, because last time Manchester was painted blue after United lost 6-3 to Man City, and that was a very, very, very emphatic loss to Manchester United that Erik Ten Hag doesn't want even to think about it. Now, after that, we are having Ten Hag responded to Pep Guardiola's ridiculous tactics comments, because towards the game of Southampton, he said, I'm having ridiculous tactics for the game of Manchester United. Now, Ten Hag is very brave and is a man who believes in what he really coaches or instills into his players. He said, I don't care about that. What he's thinking, he did tactical surprises more often, and we are prepared for that. If he does different things, we have our rules, our principles from football. So, Ten Hag is putting his confidence on the principles from football. What does the football game has to say? What are the principles of the game? Because he has laid out a system that can go ahead and really counter any team. You get? That is Ten Hag. That's why he's so confident about those ridiculous tactics Pep Guardiola was talking about. And it shows you that Guardiola has the Manchester derby onto his head, because even when he was going to play against Southampton and no one asked him about the Manchester derby, he had to mention about it, meaning that he is thinking about Ten Hag and is afraid of how much United is going to hate to improve as a team, because we are having better players, we are having tactical players who are really talented and are executing the plan of the manager very well, meaning that Ten Hag is giving Pep Guardiola sleepless nights, because if at all you come out in a press conference of Southampton and hint about something that they've not asked you about, then that shows that you are really afraid of the trip to Manchester United. Then Casemiro has gone ahead and really informed us that everyone, including the manager, knows my role. Bring balance to the team, support teammates, play between centre-backs, provide cover for full-backs, help midfield, play from the back with quality, nothing different from what I've always done in my career. So that is the description of the job of Casemiro. That's it. Providing balance or bring balance to the team, support teammates, play between central defenders, provide cover to fullbacks, and help the midfield. You get? And play from the back with quality. And this is what is going to instill today in that game of Manchester United. And we saw it very well when they brought him on around the 60th minute in the Manchester derby that took place at Etihad. You know what happened? We went ahead to score 3 goals and we won back the midfield battle, because even Rodri was not part of that team. So Casemiro is ready for the derby, and he's ready to annihilate that midfield from those players of City. Then he said the following about Ten Hag, that he is a very intelligent coach. He knows what we can ask for from each player. He knows what he can ask for from each player. The manager makes adjustments, of course, but he doesn't ask for anything different from what I've been doing throughout my career. So Casemiro is really privileged to be playing under Manchester United's manager known as Erik ten Hag, because he is really good, intelligent. And guys, intelligence really is a very wide word. You know, intelligent, you might be intelligent by getting all the things you do right, but can you outthink your opponent? Because this game that we're going to play against Manchester City is going to be like a game of chess. You have to outcompete Pep Guardiola in tactics to really beat him. Though on several occasions they've come at Old Trafford and we've gone ahead to really beat them, you get? But that does not downplay their effort they bring at Old Trafford and really attack us, because most of the games it was because of David De Gea that we survived. That's it. But this time around, I believe you're going to be having a very well laid out plan to take to City, as we trust in a man known as Erik ten Hag, and we believe in him. So that is Casemiro for you, ready for City, and is ready to put Rodri where he deserves to be. So thank you guys for watching in through. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if you're totally watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 10,200 subscribers, and obviously I know we are really hitting that number today. So your reactions to Weghorst deal done, and Ten Hag wants more signings, are welcome in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about Ten Hag informing us that he needed a different striker that we never had at Manchester United, and Weghorst is the answer to that question? And lastly, Casemiro getting ready for the derby and promising the best to the fans of Manchester United, that you're going to see something that you really need to see from a CDM. And he has really gone ahead to describe his job very well, covering the back four, supporting others, bringing the balance to the team, covering up the fullbacks, and obviously playing the ball from the back with quality. That's what Casemiro has gone ahead to really let us know. So Rokan David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later. In the next 2 hours from now, 2.5 hours from now, we are going to be doing the match day live, or the match build up, as we bring you the confirmed team news and breaking down who is who and what we expect from this game of football that is going to be like a game of chess. I'm out. Good morning. May the mighty Lord bless you abundantly. Good afternoon.